Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in session with Sumit, we are going to learn about how we can create a web page using HTML and CSS. Now in this particular video, I will cover the basics of creating a web page, and this will be helpful for you while you will be deploying your model using Flask. So in this particular video, we will try to create a web page that is something like this, and we will not go into the depth of creating a web page because we only need this web page to take the input from the user when we are deploying a model. In this video and in the next video, we will cover how we can create a Python web application, and for that web application we'll be creating this web page. After that video, we'll be also learning how we can deploy a machine learning model. So let's get started. So now let's start discussing what is HTML and what is CSS in detail. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. So all the web pages and all the websites that you look at, all those websites and web pages are basically written using HTML language. So the basic language is HTML, and on top of this there are additional technologies like JavaScript you can use to add more functionalities to your web page. But this HTML will always remain the basic language to write a web page. So a HTML code, the structure of the HTML code looks something like this. It starts with this HTML tag. So this is known as a tag in HTML language. We call this as a tag. So it starts with the HTML tag, and it always ends with this /HTML. So all the HTML tags that you have in this particular language, it will start and it will always end. So at the ending will always be a / and then the same tag name. So if I am writing let's say title, so it will always be ending with a / title, then meta, then / meta, and so on. So you need to start it, you need to end it, and then within this you need to write the complete logic or complete structure of your web page. So I will start with HTML, and it is the closing point. So ending, starting point, then closing point. It then within this you have two sub parts. One is your head and one is your body. Now whenever you look into any web page, let's say this is my website and this is the tab. This is basically your tab in your, let's say, Chrome browser. So this tab will be having some name. Now that name is known as the title of the web page. So this head tag will consist of all the meta information that is not visible to you. So all the meta information that is not visible to us or maybe not visible to anyone will be added to this head tag, and everything that is visible to you, or maybe all the content of this website, will be added to this body tag. So everything is needed to be added within this body and /body. And this title is already I have told you this is the title. Then within this head tag you also have some more tags like title. I have already told you. You have meta tag. Meta tag is used for adding some meta information. And style tag, here we use style tag to add the CSS information. So I will talk about CSS later, but this style tag is added over here to add the CSS information. CSS basically helps you to add some formatting to your web page. So CSS provides some quick methods to beautifully format your web page in a easy way. So that all instructions are added to this style tag, and this style tag is added over here. Similarly, this body tag has so many sub tags. Here you have all the heading tags. So h1 is high level, first level heading, h2 is second level heading. Like this you have 6 levels of heading. P stands for paragraph, BR stands for break rule. So if you write something, you should write P, then you can write everything you want, then /P. So this will create your paragraph. BR stands for break rule. So let's say you wanted to leave a line or leave a space after this paragraph, you need to write BR, then /BR, and this will leave a space or leave a line after this paragraph, and then you can write your second paragraph maybe. And After this you have horizontal rule. HR stands for horizontal rule. That helps you to create a horizontal line. So you just need to write HR, then slash HR. This will basically create your horizontal rule like this. B stands for bold. So let's say you have you wanted to bold this SWS. So you just write capital tag B and forward slash tag B uh, before and starting of uh, this particular sentence or the word, and this will be converted to bold. Similarly, I stands for italic. This div tag basically helps you to create various partitions within your web page. So if you have a web page that is something like this, and let's say you wanted to let's say you wanted to create some partitions within your web page. So let's say you wanted to create 3 partitions. Now in this partition number 1, let's say you wanted to write some paragraph. In partition number 2, you wanted to write some paragraph. In partition number 3, you wanted to write some paragraph. So this type of a structure can be made using this division tag. So first of all, you need to write div and then slash div. So this will create your first container. Then within this you need to have 3 containers. So div, then slash div, and within this you can write your paragraph. Then again div slash div. Within this you can write your second paragraph. Then again div slash div. Within this you can write your third paragraph. So this particular div will make sure that you are able to easily partition your web pages into various containers, and each container can have some content that can be shown in the website. Similarly, the last one, which is a tag. A tag is helpful when you wanted to add a hyperlink to some text. So let's say you wanted to add a hyperlink to this. So you can just say a, then href. Within this you provide the link, close it, then you provide the sentence or maybe the word, so SWS, and then you close this hyperlink. So this particular text will appear in the web page with the hyperlink, and this will be the hyperlink for associated with this particular word. So there are many more tags apart from this also, but we will not go into the depth of all of them, because we are actually not going to use all of them. We only need a basic web page so that we can take a input from a user. So having a knowledge of all these tags is enough actually. Now let's talk about a little bit about CSS. What is CSS, and what is the usefulness of CSS? So as I've already told you that CSS will help you to add some easy and quick way of formatting your web page. So let's say you wanted to add a background image, let's say you wanted to add a background color, let's say you wanted to make something in center, let's say you wanted to make some division with particular formatting. So let's say you wanted to have this particular division in some different formatting, this division in different formatting, this division in different formatting, and this division in different formatting. So all those functionalities can be easily implemented using your style tag, which will have all the CSS code and the commands. So this styles tag is added over here, and over here we need to provide all the CSS related code so that we can format various elements in the web page. So this is all about the basics. Now let's try to implement the web page, and let's try to code the web page, the basic web page, so that we can have a better understanding about it. So to create a web page, we actually don't need any special softwares or any special technology to write your web page, to write your HTML code. So all we need is basically a notepad, and using that notepad we can write our HTML code. So what I have done, I have created a folder, and within this folder I will create a new text file or maybe a new notepad, and then I will name it as index. Now you can either open it and you can start writing your code over here, and then you can save it as .html extension, so that will be converted to your HTML code. But for simplicity purpose and for a better code visibility, I have downloaded this Notepad++ software, so you can also download it from Notepad++ website. I have also given the link in the description box, so you can download it. And what this will do, this will basically format your code in a very nice way. You can see that there are color formatting that is done to this particular HTML code, and also there are some indentation also that is done by default. So you can also use Sublime Text if you are already working on it. That's not a problem, but I prefer Notepad++ because I never code a lot. I just use it for for creating a basic web page, or maybe creating a user interface for deploying my model. So what I have done, I have created this notepad, and now what I will do, I will just right click on it and open it in Notepad++. So it is edit with Notepad++. Now once you do that, it will open your file over here, and this is a .txt file. So before we write any code, I will just save it as a HTML file. So I'll just from this drop down I can select hypertext markup language. So here it is, hypertext markup language. Click on it and then save it. Now as you do it, you can see that it has converted to index.html, and now you can write your code over here. And if you go to your folder, you can see that index is this particular file is converted to HTML document, and this was a text document. So you can delete this text document because we don't need it now. Now we can write our HTML code. So as we have already discussed, HTML code starts with HTML tag, and it will always end with a /HTML. Now within this I can write my body tag. So body, and within body I need to write the title. So title, now title is basically, let's say my or maybe Python app, and then you close the title. Then we can close the body tag because we are done with this. Then I will start writing my sorry, this is not body, this is head. Similarly, this is /head. Then you will start writing body. So body, and within body I can write everything what we want to be displayed in our web page. So let's start with displaying the name of my YouTube channel, which is simply Session with Sumit. So I'll just say paragraph Session with Sumit, and then I will close it. And now what you need to do, you need to just save it, and once you save it, you go to this particular file and double click, just run it like a normal web page. It will open it in a basically a browser, and you can see that it is now having this Session with Sumit. Now let's say you wanted to make it in center. So either you can add a basically you can add a CSS style over here within a style tag, or you can write something like this. You can just write a center tag. So this will make this text in center. So over here center, and then you need to also close it, because if you open it you need to close it. So /center, and then if you save it, you go back to your web page, you refresh it, and then it is now in center. Now if you wanted to make it bold, you wanted to make it a heading, so again go to your file, instead of this write h1 tag and /h1, again save it, and let's look at the output. So now it will be in this is my h1 tag, or the heading 1. Now what we need, so if I look at this, now we need a background, we need this form, and we need this submit button. So first of all, let's try to add the background, and to do so we will go back to our HTML code. And now to add the background, we need to make use of the CSS style tag. So since that is a style tag, it will be under this head tag. So I'll write style, and I will also close it, and within this style tag I will mention the background image that we are required to add. So to add a background image, we first need to add the tag which will have that style component. So uh, the background of a image or the background of a web page, that is nothing but the complete body. So I will use this tag, and then within this tag I will define the image component. So I will write body over here. Now this is the formal way of defining the CSS code. You mention curly braces, and within this curly braces you will add the properties. So I'm basically defining the formatting related to body tag. So I'll just copy paste the code for adding the image, and I'll just copy this one, then I will show the other one. So I'll just copy this one. Now here I have the attribute which is background image, and here URL zebra image. Now zebra.jpg. So I need to add like basically I need to have this zebra.jpg into my same folder. So let me copy it. This is my image. I'll just copy it over here, and since this image is in the same folder, I don't need to mention the absolute path. I can just mention URL zebra image. Now if I save it and if I go back to the web page, if I run it, you can see that I am able to look at the image, but that image is not it is not in a proper shape. It is more than the area of my web page. Now this is because I have not formatted it well. So I need to add one more constraint over here, which basically means background size is equal to cover. So this particular attribute, what it will do, it will adjust the background image according to the size of your device. So if my device is laptop, it will just adjust it accordingly. So if I now save it, and if I now look it into this, if I refresh this, now you can see that I am able to look at the image. So now my next task is to add this form. So this is nothing but the form. So to add the form, I will go into my body tag, and then here I need to mention form. So within form you add all the form details. So form basically consists of two things. Number one is the label. So if I go to here, this is my label and this is my input. This is label, this is input, this is label, this is select. So this is known as the select, this is known as the input, and this is again a submit button. So each part of this form has a different name, but this is also always known as a label. So I will start with a label, or let me just copy the command. So I'll just copy the code and I will explain you. So this is a complete code. Now if you try to understand this code, it is very simple actually. So you have this first name. Now this particular, so this is one particular input, the complete input. So if I go to the web page, this particular complete input, which is the label and the type of the input, is given over here. So this is the name of the input, which is first name, and this is the type of the input, which is a text box. So it starts with a label where I need to write the name of the label, and then this label is associated with a name, which is this f name, and this f name is needed to be added over here also in this id, so that the HTML could understand that this particular thing is associated with this particular input type. Now you can see that the input type is a text box, it's a text, id is this, so this and this is needed to be same, and the name is fn. Now you can have anything over here. This thing will be useful when we will be connecting this web page with the Python code. So when you will be connecting this web page with a Python code will be looking for some input from the web page. So my Python code will be calling this name to extract the required input. So this name is very important for moving forward with the model deployment. So remember, this field is very important, and you can have any name. So I'm using a shortcut FN so that I don't need to write a very big name in my Python code. Then required is equal to required, so this will make sure that the user is mentioning the detail, it is not leaving empty. And then placeholder is equal to write your name. So placeholder will basically the default text that will appear to the user. So this is my first line, and then I am leaving a space. So BR stands for break rule, I am just leaving a space, and then I am mentioning the second line of the input. So the label for the second input is gender, and then the type is a select field. So here it was an input field. Now I have a select field because now I need to mention the drop down menu for the user. So if you look at here we have a drop down menu. So this particular type is known as a select type, and this is an input type. So this is my select type. The ID is gender. So again, this particular thing and this particular thing should match similarly to this and this. So gender and gender, and F name as gender. Now this name is what my Python code will be calling. So name is gender. Now option number 1 is male and value is 1. So this value is again for the Python code. So once some user input selects the male, my Python code will receive this 1. It will not receive male, it will receive 1. And if the user selects female, Python code will receive 0. If the user selects other, Python code will receive -1. So that is what I have done over here. I have written the select, and then I have closed my select, and then again I have added a new line. After this, we have the code for writing the submit button. And since I don't need any label to be associated with the submit button, this label is empty. And then if you look at the type, it is submit. So input type is submit. Here the input type was text, the ID is submit, and the value is I agree. Now this I agree will be visible to you over the submit button. And then I have closed the tag. And now if I save this, and if I now go back and refresh the page, you can see that these 3 inputs are visible to me. But the problem is that they are not visible to me in this format which I need. So what I will do, I will just try to add some CSS style to make them in a correct format. So very first thing that I need to do is to make this this form appearing the middle, because if you look at over here, this is in the middle, but it is not in middle over here. So that is what we will do over here. We will add the formatting for form tag. So this is my form tag. I am adding the formatting for form tag. Again, it will be starting and ending with curly braces, and within this I'll just say text align, and then it will be center. Now if I save this, and if I go back and refresh this page, you can see that it is in center now. Now the next thing that I need to do is basically increase the width of this particular input and width of this particular select. So let's do this. So my input, and again curly braces, and I need to add the width. So this will be width is equal to 50%. Now what's the meaning of 50%? So 50% means that this will be extended to 50% of the length of your screen. So maybe some issue is there. Oh sorry, it will be width is to, not is equal to. So you save this, and then you see, so it has been extended to 50% of its length, 50% of the complete screen size. Similarly, we can increase the this particular select field, and you don't need to worry about this. We will try to reduce the size of this, that we can do. So again we can write the similar thing for select then open curly braces, close curly braces, then width is to 50%, and you save it. Now you have all the three inputs in basically having the same width, but the problem is they are not aligned to each other, so we need to now align them to each other. So to do this, what I will do, I'll just copy the code, and this is the code for aligning them to same to, basically aligning them together. So I have this label tag. I need to align the label tag, and this will control the font size. So currently the font size is very low. I'll just increase the font size. Displays inline block. So this particular code will make sure that all the labels are in line with the block. And then width is equal to 100 pixel. So width basically represents how much width you want. So if I keep it to very small, let's say width is 50 pixel, and if I save it, if I go back to this web page, you can see that your first and the name is not in same line because the width is small. You need to increase the width, and you can see that they are aligned now. So I'll just increase the width to 100 pixel, or maybe 150 pixel is fine, and then you will be able to see that the first name is in complete line, and with the input space aligning with all the input are aligned. Now the only thing that is left is to reduce the size of this I agree submit button and change its color to green color. So to do this thing, I will add the basically I will add the CSS code for input. So I've already added the CSS code for input, but we can add a specific CSS code for input with type as submit. So I'll just copy the code from here, and I will add it below the input code. So remember guys, you need to write all the input CSS code together, all the select together, all the labels together, so that it can work together. So my input is this, like it will work for all the input tags, but for a specific for submit input type, which is specifically this, I'm just changing my formatting. So my background color will be green, color will be white, so the text will appear in white color, and width will be 10%. Here the width was 50%, now width is 10%. Now if I save it, and if I go back to my web page, if I refresh it, you can see that I'm able to create the similar web page like this. So this is how we can create a web page. Now that's it for this video. In the next video we will try to deploy a Python app using Flask. Okay, so thank you.